Welcome back to another edition of the Civ Battle Royale. Welcome to part 111. My name is Dawkinzz, and this part is done entirely in haikus. Just kidding, that's probably not ever going to happen again. So, let's get right into the actual part with some actual narrations. Let's start now. This part is done by user Great Fan. He is our resident Brazilian, even though there are a couple of you out there. We love you all. But he is the shitpostiest one so far. Get to it if you haven't done so yet. Anyway, he's done this part, so let's read what he has to say. Here, I represent today's bloodbath using the excellent game and sequel, Virtue's Last Reward. Brazil in all its green glory. Will they get even more glorious this part? Brazil in all its green glory. Will they get even more glorious this part? Brazil is still #1 and is unshaken. Will the events of this part knock them out of the spotlight? Will it be a total war? We start with a shot of the Great Green Glob, now reaching Canada. The latest to be seized is a city drawn from the Kimberley, God save their souls, Umbulguri, Ipamasike, whatever Psych. Originally a Blackfoot-claimed land, begins taking damage and looks to fall soon enough. Alack and alas, Brazil seizes the region of Quebec, granting them access to the former Gulf of Igloolik. Formerly wrestled over by the Inuit and the Icelandic people, it is now probably the Gulf of Dombasco or something. Taking a well-deserved break from the Inuit meltdown, we see the region of Upper Asia. Australia seems to be using Brazil's tactic of mass production. As we see the Inuit, the question is raised, will someone remove the pesky blue blob from Asia already? You're going to have to read along with this one, so go to the slides that I have linked in the description. But, whatever you see, the crazy Inuit voted on a Krilliant Congress that corals are no longer essential to the word. Meanwhile, Brazil fishes that their one vote is enough to kelp the corals from their anemone. Oh boy, that was tough to get through. Peaceful Vietnam. So calm. So filled with the wrong shade of green on their cities. It's disgusting. Oh, and people don't like being smelly, and thus they don't ban perfume, which is interesting, so they can stink it up all they want. Well, nothing new under the sun. Brazil gets more cities, and it's reaching dangerously close to Alaska. Regina and Victoria. So Regina means queen, I guess. Regina is separated from Victoria, which means that Queen Victoria has been dethroned. And this means filthy syndicalist scumbags. Bums, bums, bums. Another one bites the dust. Ba-da-dum, bums, bums. Another one bites the dust. Another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. Bums, bums, bums. Another one bites the dust. Sabir thinks that black is the new green, and seriously, there is too much black and too little flippin'. Is anyone interested in a CBR where no cities are flipped whatsoever? Whoever you are, send a melee unit. Anything. Rakja. A beautiful city kept safe by the Terminator unit. I see Brazil is sharing the secrets of the former Boer Skynet to its, close ally. Maybe that should explain why the leaders won't die. Maybe. Who knows? The United Cities of North Brazil, in all of its puppeted glory. It is only a matter of time before direct rule starts, the units start producing again, the army starts expanding more and more, and the looming green shadow gets casted on the world even further. Nova Scotia, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. I gotta stop singing, it's enough. It's now under Brazilian rule. We can see Cuiabá, that's the name, a city on Brazil's city list, but that's not the important thing. Ottawa, a capital, is Brazilian. Could you have ever pictured it? Can anything stop this green tidal wave? Soon, the former Canadian lands will be gone. The Americas are already taken. Then they will go to the Inuit. The first and the second in the power rankings all mowed down like pathetic garbage. Saskatoon is reclaimed by the melty, stinky, icy garbage. How adorable. Brazil isn't going to be deleted by a single city. Victoria is surrounded, locked off from the world outside Old Huron Lake. Iqaluit, the second city on Inuit's name list. It shares a screen with a city in a tropical zone. I'm sorry, there is barely anything to say other than variations of Brazil gets land. I mean, I was a Brazil fan since I joined the BR, this is great fan talking, and I am not complaining at all. The green wave shall consume all. Sabir, proclaiming maximum Russia, sneaks into Manchurian Korea. I mean, Korea is the CBR equivalent to a basement dweller. He probably turned his palace underground for maximum weebness. I'm looking at you, Lunar Needle. Ah, peace at last. Between two non-fighting parties that one of them helped the great BR Empire more than themselves. Well, submission or allegiance, I suppose. Saskatoon is flipped once more. Victoria is unsieged. Units approach Halifax. Man, the peaceful and long unflipped Canada took a turn for the worse. This is no joke. Saddening me. Like years and years of peace and tranquility, gone in a flash. Narum might be an interesting beachhead for landing Brazilian units. The isle is surrounded from all sides by Inuit ships, though. Alaska is starting to become a possible dream with the capture of Kaninkaditting. Oh boy, these are going to get fun. The fourth Inuit city. We can see a Blackfoot tank and another city from Brazil on the name list. Aracaju, great city. I love the IRL beaches there. Yeah, that's right, he's from Brazil, so he would know a thing or two about it. That's nice. Good grief. More of the Brazil wave strikes the Inuit. Changing topics from the obvious, I wonder how Keflavik is faring. It must be cramped with Inuit refugees, anxious to go live in a safe haven, with barely any green. There are 6 Inuit settlers in this shot alone, instead of, trying to resist the green tide with units, because that would actually help you. Such a great shot here. Brazil has arrived at the Arctic Ocean. Such a wonderful conquest for the Empire of Brazil. A new beach has been opened, and it's open for the public. I don't think you should wear your Speedos and bikinis on this one, but hey, you do you. Whoa, watch out. While apparently no significant damage happened here, look at the corner and see how Brazil has seized cities at the northeast of Kakatangang, like Silchonai. Also worth noting that Kamahatwach, which is red, is tagged as a capital, even though their capital is Ivavik. Which could mean that Ivavik was sieged off screen somewhere. You probably also noticed by now that Brazil has betrayed their OCP buddy Iceland, who ditched out of the war. This is revenge. Nothing personal, though. It's just that you don't get room for allies when you are conquering the world. Oh well. Edmonton and Keflavik take damage, and the army moves swiftly to St. Catharines. Here we see the fleet of Thor in all its mighty power. Well, there are more carriers than anything, but it's the thought that matters. Some carriers from the Buck carrier fleet can be seen here, welcoming the guiding and mighty fleet to the Americas. And we can see a barbarian artillery unit. Are they backed by Brazil to slow at Iceland? What a refreshing view of Africa. The international community was finally alerted by Inglefur of the possible menace Brazil stands for the world in an emergency UN summit. People and leaders of the cylinder. Brazil has crossed the boundaries of warfare. One thing is to fight wars on the boss, who is annexing left and right. One thing is to be called the wars from your ally, and profiting. Another thing is to avenge a fallen foe. But Pedro attacked me. a close ally of his, and now Cienfuegos is under attack as we speak, and soon I'll take an arrow to the knee. Yeah, I know it wasn't the best Skyrim Icelandic accent, but I'm doing the best I can for a New Yorker, damn it. The ancient lands of the Romans is broken and scattered thanks to the incessant fire of the Brazilians. So I ask you all, while England is undergoing a naval invasion, are we going to wait until we conquer them all? It could be you next. We shall join forces and end this fiendish and warmonger beast once and for all. Then we may fight for petty squabbles like the days of old. While a yet not deleted fleet strikes the final heartland of a once eternal empire, the UN stands up in applause and they decide that the time to strike is now. No more delays. The fate of the world shall be decided. To the victor, fame and fortune. To the loser, may your actions be forgotten by time. A world war is declared. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Crowfoot, once a wise ruler, is struck by madness and sees the filth of this world. He decides to make the world as wide, colorful, and diverse as was the world of old. As a first action, he calls the exiled and wandering Jose Rizal to once again rule the island chain of the Philippines. Crowfoot the Necromancer is henceforth his name. I'm looking forward to some Civ Ball, OC, or whatever art you can muster. For he once was one to rise Sitting Bull from the dead and proclaim his religious importance around the globe. Now he rises others from the grave as well, to march his undead army against the cylinder. The land of Japan, slayed long ago by the Kimberley nation, released and integrated by Korea, is once again active. Meiji, after a successful escape from Sejong's basement, comes back to sit on a wooden chair at Nagoya, which he claims is better than watching Sejong play StarCraft 2. Korea reclaims Suwon and Ulsan from the Vietnamese. Alas, it seems the original plan for just crippling Brazil was a failure, and now everyone is at war, everyone is conquering each other, and everyone is fighting. May the best man or woman win. Korea is trying their best to keep themselves intact, and it seems they are quite managing to do it. Inuit take several Korean cities such as Gongju. Aussie troops flock in directions of Kamchatka, waiting for a bit of the ice cream. The border gore is astounding. The Inuit see some Sibir cities as well. Sibir takes Egle, and Mongolia is heavily damaged by their ferocious foes. I don't know what's going on. The Inuit descend into Asia, Otrar is attacked from multiple sides, and Korea is completely swarmed by Aussies, apparently barely taking any damage. Australia is still mad at the Vietnam War and attacks Olongapo. Vietnam takes Caloocan. A fierce naval battle starts after the combined fleets strike at the Philippines. There's so much going on. Even with a hefty number of Viet Marines, Orage Brasileiro seems unlikely to fall. It's just too carpeted. Nam can't catch a break and loses Da Nang in India for Brazil. Lahore is quite damaged as well. Vietnam can't flip a single Brazilian city and only damages them. Vietnam can try, but that's about it, I guess. Millard Fillmore would be astounded by the incompetence of Vietnamese armed forces. Mongolia is doing better than expected. They have not immediately died and they still have a standing army on the side. However, they must still deal with worst Khan's carpet and the advancing Asian ice cube. This slide has damage. No flips, but lots and lots of damage. Yerevan and other Caucasus cities are in the black. Could Pedro net another capital? Europe is a quote-unquote boring continent right now. No city flips and only a bit of damage going on. Melee units are important, okay? Just get with it! Ah, Denmark. You never were in this game, but even here, Holstein lies separated from you. Will Sweden take you home? Will they take a bit out of Hamburg and take the south back? We see XComs swarming a very black France, meaning we will see more green in Europe next turn. If we see next turn. Antium gets seized by Brazil, and what the hell, Sweden, go back and take a German city already? What are you doing? Cienfuegos gets captured and Lisbon is surrounded. I very much doubt these little islands will fall very easily. I mean, it's not like they are relevant or anything like that. Bamako is engulfed by Brazil, that fatty. I predict even Saleh is going to be stolen. A buck great musician plays accordion and sings chanties in the far South Seas near a very damaged Wollongara. With no enemy melee units in sight, we're left to wonder, who will take it, if anyone? Oh, Canada. Long time no see. If you look at the minimap, you will spot that the Inuit took a bite out of Greenland. Brazil split them in West and East Inuit, split across the Ivavik-Iqaluit River. Whoa! This slide lacks units in both fronts. It's clear this war has taken a great loss of life, and there will only be more death to come with a total war across the world. No one is safe, nowhere to hide. Even a city-state is at war with you. That's unbelievable. Even though the Bra Ice War caused over-control of the Vikland Peninsula, their cities lie in the hands of the original owners. Naval assistance is important, kids. Yar days. The Buccaneer Corps lies unfazed by the Brazilian attacks. Damn. They have their navy and they are going to use it, damn it. In Central America, things aren't looking as bright as they are in the Florida Keys, and they are surrounded from the north and south. All that takes is a little effort from the Brazilians, and this is entirely green. South America is pressured on by the green blob. My prediction is 2 or 3 parts, and this will all fall. A green fleet is rushing and striking the seas. Will the Australians push back the better green boats back to America? Will the blob never end? Will the Zerg continue? The battle starts now, and so the wheel of fate spins. What will happen next? Stay tuned to find out on the next episode of the Civ Battle Royale. Oh, I didn't put another emphasis on that. Royale. Anyway, this has been a narration by the great BR. Praise Fillmore, and I hope you enjoyed his narration. I am Dawkinzz. Join us next week for part 112. I'm going to be doing a little bit of traveling, so I hope I can get that out to you soon enough. If not, I'll make an announcement on the Reddit or on the YouTube channel or whatever. But please, again, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It really supports me. And until then, we'll see you next time.